I'm not even joking, y'all. I was like, ah! I feel like it should have been a device that just sucks it all up. It's not thick at all. If you are watching this, free bleeding might seem like a lot. No! I just got my period. Let's talk about period! Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sofi. Everybody calls me the Odditty, and I am on my period. I love doing girl talks. Y'all are so amazing to talk to. But also I feel like I wish I had videos like this when I was growing up. Somebody out there could have made this easier for us. I don't know. I feel like it should have been a device that just sucks it all up. Today we're gonna have a conversation about periods. I'm on my period right now, so I feel like I'm in this space, the mental head space, to share my tips and tricks for surviving on your period. I'm 25 years old and I've gone through a lot of different period things for me to get to where I am right now. So let's get into the video. First of all, what in God's name is a freaking period? A period is when the uterus or a womb sheds its lining. Is it the thanks I get for not having a baby on the planet? Is it my fault for not getting pregnant this month? This isn't a thank you note. What the fuck? Now we're gonna bleed every month? That's not fair! Rah. This is Eve's revenge. This has to be Eve's revenge. So basically, as a woman, we bleed every month. Our body's basically telling us, yo, you're not pregnant. My period story was it's very vague. All I remember is I got my period around like 11 or 12. All I knew is having a period was going to symbolize my journey to womanhood, to adulthood. And as a woman, once I started my period, that means I could get pregnant. And because of that, I was a woman now and I had to be very careful with boys. I was thrown a box of pads. I was told, here you go, this is what you use every month, and you're going to bleed for 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days, and that's it. And sometimes you're in pain, sometimes you're not. And I had friends then who had ridiculously painful periods, like insanely painful periods, and I was never one of those people. When I first started my period was pretty easy. What I mean by easy is my period was very like typical, right? Like I would bleed heavy first, second, and third day. Fourth and fifth day it was like very light spotting, and like 6 and 7 days like very minimum, like a drop of blood here and there, but that was pretty much it. And I had that period for when I was 11, 12 till I was like 19, 20, and when I was 20 was when my period changed. And we don't talk about this. We never talk about like the changes your body goes through as well. More intense. It got shorter, but it got more intense. Like day 1 and 2 when I was like 19 was very heavy, like super heavy, very uncomfortable, very tough. But I would say that was also around the time when I changed using pads to tampons. And we're gonna get into the different types of period products that you can use. And then I got on birth control when I was 21. Yes, I got on birth control, and birth control sort of switched and flipped my life around a little bit. And birth control basically was what I think changed my periods a lot more, and that made it become irregular but ridiculously more painful. Now all of this I'm saying right now is very different for every single woman. Like you might have really light periods, some women can have like really heavy periods. I know girls who bleed for 7 days, I know girls who bleed for 14 days, I know girls who bleed for 1 day. So it's all different, but the perspective is learning about your body for something that we have to deal with every freaking month. So let's talk about what do you use when you're on the damn period. It's your time of the month, you're about to get started. I will tell you what I use, and then we can go into the other options there are. I use period panties. I started using period panties 4 to 5 months ago, and they absolutely changed my life. I use Salt Co or Thanks. I love Salt Co better, honestly. It's a lot more seamless. Yes, I free bleed in these panties. I'm gonna show you different options. So they can look like this, which is like the boys shorts version of it, and this is what the interior looks like for one of those. So this is more of like a light bleed. It's not too thick. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me see if I can show you. Like it's not thick at all. It's pretty like, it's like when you're wearing like a Victoria's Secret boy shorts. This is literally what they feel like. And then the thicker ones are like this. I don't know if you can hear it, but these are a little bit thicker, they're heavier. This is what I use at night to fall asleep. I typically wear these like every 6 to 8 hours, and I switch it to like 2, 3 per day depending on how heavy I'm bleeding. And you can either hand wash them when you're done, or you know, throw them in a bag like this. So this is like my Amazon laundry bag. I put all the thingies when they blend in it, and I just put them in here, and I put them in the wash, and I air dry when they come out. And that is literally what I use. But if you're like every other person I know, I get it. Your periods, we're all taught, you know, bleed in the pad, throw it away. Bleed in the pad, throw it away. And free bleeding is like weird, right? Like the idea of you're just bleeding in a panty is just like, I get it, I promise. If you are watching this and you're like younger and you just starting off your period, free bleeding might seem like a lot, or it might seem normal. Just do all the research you can. Learn what sort of works good and looks good for your body, because that's what I had to do. It took me 25 years. No. Okay, Sophie. It took me 13 years. It gets to the point where I love, like I just free bleed now and I don't feel weird about it. But I was actually had to be really open. But let's talk about what other options you have. First option is a pad. This is the Always Ultra Thin pad, but there are different options. It's the Always Super, Always with wings, Always with this. And this is what a pad would look like. And when you open it, it's like this. And if anyone is watching and you don't know how to do a pad, like if this is your penny, oh, let me try it. I get excited when I'm teaching. Okay, so this is what you do. This is the panty part. This is where your pad goes on. You take it off, you stick it on there, and this has wings, so I tear it out. And I just stick it on. Oh my God, I miss doing this. It feels like it's been forever. And you do this, and then you just like wear the panty. As some have like the longer ones at the back. People like me who sleep on our backs when we fall asleep, I don't know if y'all know this, but when you're sleeping on your back, you bleed like deeper, so you bleed more towards the end. When you're sitting, you bleed at the middle, and when you're laying on your chest, you bleed towards the front. So I typically would, when I'm sleeping, when I was using my pads, I'm sleeping on my chest, I have a lot more support in the front, so the blood like sits in the front area. And if I'm laying on my back, I have more support at the back, so it sits in the back area. If I'm just sitting around, I know it's gonna stay and just fall like in the middle. This is what pads are. You can use different types of pads. I think pads are the most common ones that are used typically across the world. The other option, let me tell you the story of when I first used my tampon. So when I was in college, I saw that all my friends that were like, I don't know, they were like the active big girls, like all the big girls use tampons. And I was raised that if I use a tampon, that I would lose my virginity. Period. Myth number one. It is a lie. Please don't listen. Please. Tampons do not cause you to lose your virginity. It just holds your blood, you guys. That's all it does. This is like I think this is an actual like, I think it's an organic tampon, but there are different types of tampons, like plenty. There are plenty of options to choose from if you like it. I think a lot of people who use tampons are mostly active, so if you don't want the discomfort of having a pad stuck under you the entire time and having to change it, tampons are a lot easier to use in that sense. They also allow you to like swim if you have tampon active. They allow you to like run and go to the gym a lot easier than wearing a thick pad might do. But this is what a tampon looks like. You open it up and then you get this. I've not used this in so long. It feels so like deja vu. But this is what it looks like. And this part, you don't want to touch it just because it's going into your vagina. But for these purposes, I'm going to touch it. But you're going to insert it right there. And then you hold this part, right? While you pull this in. And it's already going to like, it's already going to dangle into the, this will be in your vagina already. And then you just pull this out. And then you throw it away, and then you just have this little string dangling, and when you're done and it's soaked all the way up and full, you pull it out and you throw it away. And that's pretty much how it is. When I tell you my first time putting a tampon on, hilarious. I was like, ah! Screeching, and my friend, I genuinely, I'm just gonna say it, my friend put it in for me, and that's how you know I had really good friends then. But a friend of mine literally taught me how to put it in, pushed it up there for me, and then brought it out, and she taught me how to do it properly. If you don't have creepy friends, you don't have to go that route. But I just had never used it before, and I'd been taught over and over again that putting a tampon in my vagina was gonna make me lose my virginity, and I found out that wasn't the case. Besides the period panty, the tampon, or the pads, they're also reusable pads. The pads are like, you can use them over and over again. I feel like if you're gonna be using reusable pads, might as well just invest in buying period panties or using the menstrual cup. I have never ever used a menstrual cup. I feel like I want to try a menstrual cup one of my cycles, and I'm gonna like document that and see how it goes. But for right now, we've not done the menstrual cup yet, but that's also an option for those who are trying to explore different ways other than pads and tampons that you can, you know, work with on your period. Okay, so we talked about what periods are. Ugh. We've talked about my period story, double ugh. And we've also talked about what to use in your periods. But how do you even know the freaking period is coming anyways? Oh, let's do this. Okay, so if I say something that you find relatable because it happens to you too, you're gonna drop a "oh my god, me too" in the comments. Is it a deal? So we're gonna do some me too moments right now. So if you feel like you relate to anything I say in this video, just drop it multiple me too's. I don't mind. Put the timeline there and let me know, like, oh my god, 12:01 me too Sophie, and I'll be like, me and you, me and you, me and you, we got each other. We know what's up. This is how my cycle typically happens. I have my first week where I'm happy, chilling, I'm vibing. This is the week post period. Your girl feels fresh. I'm feeling, yo, I be turning up. I'm in the gym. I am drinking water. I am hydrated. I'm doing everything and anything I could do. I'm a bad bee, okay? A bad bee. And then second and third week is when I feel ovulation symptoms, PMS, where like my boobs start getting sore towards the end of the 2 weeks. I start getting really lightheaded. I get migraines. I get back pain. Yeah. I get all of that. My moods start going left and right, and I'm like, my period is almost here. And ding, ding, ding. If I literally wake up in the morning and I'm like, my period is here. And like clockwork, I sit on that toilet and I go, and it comes out, and I'm like, told you, I know my body, I know her, she knows me. I get really sad when it happens, but no, that's literally how it goes. And then when your period apparently comes, this is doubled. Isn't that crazy? Like, you're already feeling it before the period comes, and then your period comes and you're feeling all those things again. And I think this is where, like, actually how to survive on your period comes into play. You've gone through this 2 weeks of living your best life, a week of PMS, and then your period gets here. And what do? For me, my period essentials are so critical to me. This is what I have. Like, once I go into that bathroom and I'm like, oh shit, it's here, I run. I race. I put on a robe to get comfortable. I immediately go get my period meds. This is a leave. It's like basically naproxen is what I use. Like, that's the only thing that helps me like manage the pain. It does make me sleepy, so I realize I get a little drowsy, and so I'm trying to figure out what else works. So if you actually have any meds that you take, let me know down in the comments. I know Tylenol is really good. I know there's some Advil period that also helps period cramps, but naproxen has always been like something that's helped for me. I grab a heating pad. This is the generic one from Amazon, but you can get like a general one from Amazon, from any of the like TJ Maxx, any of the stores near you. Heating pads, hot water bottles also work the same way. Something warm on your belly and your back. Be very careful. I actually got scarring on my tummy because I was cramping so much at some point that I literally burnt my skin. So be very careful. So we're coming to the end of this video. I feel like I've missed so much. So if you have any questions about period stuff, put it in the comments. I feel like we're all like family on my channel, and if you're new here, I hope you're gonna be family too. And I just feel like if you ask any question, someone out there would have an answer for you, or I might even be able to respond and tell you what I also know about what I've dealt with my periods. So let me know in the comments. But before I go, I wanted to share some odd gems that have helped me sort of conquer my period, my life when I'm on my period. I've mastered the art of like loving myself and pouring into myself even while I'm on my period, and it's been really helpful. So let's get into some odd gems to help you survive your period. First things first, I'm not joking. F hiding your periods. If you know your period is coming, it's okay to already prepare ahead of time. I know as a kid when I was growing up, I had this weird insecure thing about being like, oh my god, I can't talk about being on my period. If you follow me on all my social media platforms, everybody knows when Sophie's on my period. I feel like if I ever got pregnant and I wanted to hide it from y'all, I'm gonna have to pretend and lie that I'm on my period, because I realized the amount of mental work it took for me to constantly hide that I was on my period, or even pretend to the outside world I was on my period, was so exhausting when I want to own it. Every freaking woman in this world, we go through this. We bleed every freaking month, and you're gonna have over, on average, hold on a second, on average, how many periods does a woman have? You're gonna have over 480 periods on average in your lifetime. This is for people who have normal bleeding cycles, but for those who have irregular cycles that come 3 or 2 times a month, for those who have longer periods, you lucky son of a bitches. Y'all lucky. You're lucky if you're one of those people. You're gonna think to hide it rather than embrace it. Why? why do that to yourself? So an odd gem of mine has been to explore what it is to be on your period. You don't necessarily have to be like me and shouting on social media, but allow yourself treat your period like, and I promise you, y'all, this might sound so irritating for people who are on their period right now. I promise you, I'm on my period right now. Listen to me. Love yourself. Love your periods. They happen. We're stuck with them. We might as well enjoy it, okay? Pro tip, before you start cramping, take your meds before. The mistake I used to make is I would take my period medicine literally like while I feel the cramps, and then I get pissed off when it's not kicked in when I wanted to kick in. But I wasn't proactive enough to know, okay, if I'm feeling my period already, if I take it at this time, by the time it kicks in, I wouldn't be cramping. I gotta play the game. I gotta be smart. You gotta work smart and not hard, y'all. I'm telling you. Don't forget to drink water. Stay hydrated. You're losing a lot while you're on your period. You're feeling dehydrated, you're feeling exhausted, you're not as energetic as you feel like. Drink a lot of water. It will definitely help your body and your fluids move a lot freely. Also, like, I don't know about y'all, but I get period diarrhea too, and I feel like water always helps it feel better in a way, because I feel like I'm just period diarrhea, and that's you know that cramp that happens to us. Oh my god, this is a Me Too moment. Let me know in the comments if you do it. When like you're either pooping or something, you just feel like a butt like squeeze, and you're like, oh, and you're like, what the heck is going on? That insane. I don't know why it happens. I need to Google that. I'm gonna Google that after this video to figure out why it happens. But that's also something that happens. So drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. It definitely helps a lot. Another odd gem I would say is absolutely move. Move. And I know I'm saying this right now and I feel like I'm lying to your faces, but I promise you, when you move on your period, there's something that happens to your body. Like, give yourself time to move. In many ways, I feel like when I move, I'm able to sort of deal with the cramps a little bit easier. Accidents happen, okay? You've clearly heard from so many women who tell you, yes, you're not the only one who's ever gotten a period stain on their body at some point. It happens. Like, your period can surprise you sometimes. She likes to play games. I like to say my period plays games with me sometimes. She pops up, sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she's full, sometimes she's heavy. Our periods, I feel like they have a life of their own. Like, sometimes she's mad that she ain't got no baby in her stomach. Sometimes she's like, why are you doing this to me? I don't know. So because of that, you know, accidents happen, and that's okay. If you're in school, if you're out at work and you have an accident, you get stained, look for anybody you can trust nearby who can borrow you a jacket. If you don't have a jacket, use a purse to cover up yourself while you go to the bathroom. One of my quick easy hacks for my period is whenever I'm on my period and I'm bleeding, I don't have any pads near me, I fold some tissue paper, fold them like 4 or 5 times, so I make like a platform or a thing. I make a seating on my panties and I wear that so I can go get some period, you know, products to help me with my period. That's super helpful. Don't feel ashamed. This happens, okay? This happens. Immature people might laugh at you. Immature people might be like, oh my god, look at that. It happens. That is it, you guys. That is all I have about periods. If you have any other questions, let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these girl talks, so let me know what else you want to know from my perspective. I am literally just a girl online sharing my life with you guys and sharing like what I know, and I feel like I'm talking to like a little cousin or a little sister. I don't have a sister, so this feels like y'all feel like your little sister to me, but I feel like I'm talking to you when I'm telling you about this. So if you want to know anything girl to girl, let me know in the comments and we're gonna talk about it, because we have each other, okay? We gotta stick together. Girls gotta stick together. We gotta have each other's backs, and that's pretty much it. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.